Hey royalty, welcome back. TechKingGames once again, and today we're looking at a small little capture point system that I created using redstone command blocks and stuff. Now this is good for if you want to do a capture the point type of map, or you want to do like a power buff where whatever team has it active gets like speed or whatever. Just a really cool little thing. And I didn't make it too compact, and I didn't really make it so clear. I kind of threw it together, but I hope I can kind of explain as much as possible. So first of all, let's start off by saying I'm on the red team right now. So if I try to stand on the blue team, it's going to say this isn't your buff point, stand on the red one. So I'm going to go stand on the red one. And it's going to say capturing in 3. It's going to say red team's capturing the buff. And then it's going to turn this light on. It's going to give me resistance 2. And then it's going to, it's going to count down and it's going to say red team now has the buff. And every couple of seconds or so, every I would say 20 to 30 seconds, it's going to say red team still has the buff. So that's just to remind people that, you know, who has the buff, or whatever, the control point, or whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it like a power buff, so you get resistance or whatever. If I were to try to stand on the blue one, still, it's going to say this isn't your buff point, stand on the red one. And if I try to stand on this one, it's going to say your point is currently already active. If I were to go and change team here, blue. If I try to stand on the red one, it's going to say this is your buff point, stand on the blue one. And if I try to stand on this one, it's going to start capturing it. And you guys will see that you have to stand on it for 3 seconds for it to become active. And you'll see that you hear that little sound, the light goes on, and then this light goes off. Now, you will notice there's a couple glitches with this, and it's not too big of a deal. As this one is mid-process changing over, this is going to actually try to do it one last time. So you'll see here that right after blue team gets the buff, it's going to broadcast saying red team still has the buff. Now this is just a small glitch and it's not that big a deal. It won't happen again. But if it hits at the right time, it'll actually do that. And same thing for standing on it. If you capture it, it's going to actually say your point is already active as soon as you capture it, just the way the whole system works. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the redstone and how everything works. It's kind of confusing, so I'm going to try and teach you guys as best as I can. So the first thing off is these clocks here that work for both of these points. This side is for the blue point, and this side is for the red point. Now, what this clock is testing for a player within the radius of 2 of these coordinates, which is the middle of that thing, whose team equals blue. He has to be in the blue team. And the score of blue cap has to equal 0. And basically this is just checking to make sure that the blue's point is not already captured. So if the blue point is not already captured, which equals 0, none, then what it's going to do is it's going to emit this pulse here, which is going to then say this, blue team is capturing their buff. It's going to tell the player that's up there, capturing in 3. And what this whole system does is basically, as you stand on it, it's going to slowly provide power to each one of these, turning off these torches. But this line does not turn off, turning this torch on, until all of them are turned off. So with this delay, it takes about 3 seconds to get to the end and turn off all these torches. Once all these torches are turned off, this torch will turn on, activating first, let's go with this way. It's going to go ahead and turn on this loop here, which is just going to basically lock this to an on position. This is going to be locked to an on position, turning this torch off, which will allow this clock to continue going around and round, and every couple of seconds giving the team of blue the resistance to effect, or whatever effect you would like, or activating something, etc. It's also going to set the red capture to 0, which means 0 is not captured. It's going to say blue team now has the buff, and it's also going to set the blue capture to 1, so that blue team now does have the buff. I think I explained all of that properly. And then over this way, what it's going to do is it's going to set the red cap to 0, which actually we did over here, which is kind of pointless for doing it twice, so I can remove that. And what it's going to do is basically just going to turn off the this clock lock thing here for the red team. And then on the same thing for the red team. Oh, also, as these get activated or deactivated, it's going to say 2-1 to the player. And, yep, so the same thing over here. It's going to basically send this pulse over here, which is going to turn off their clock. So if we look here, and I were to, actually here, I'll do this real quick. If I were to power this, you'll see that this pushes down and actually turns off them, so they're no longer capturing it. And this clock, which actually I haven't explained this, is basically another one of these, only bigger, and every couple of seconds it's just saying blue team still has the buff. So once it activates these, which is going to set the blue cap and all that back to 0. This is going to be 1, and it's basically going to do the same thing over here. Now, this button's just going to reset everything so that no team has captured it, and then all the capture points are back equal to 0, so that everyone can capture it once again. The lights are all off and everything. Oh, also want to mention, when this line turns on, it's going to turn on this torch, which is going to power this block. It'll do the breath sound because we are on 1.6 on right now, and same thing for this side, this side as well. Also here, it's going to be checking for a player who is there, but the red team already captured it because it's 1, and it's basically just going to tell them your point is already active, and same thing over here. So as you can see, we can turn on the light here. Actually, okay, it's capturing it. You hear the breath, the light turns on, you get your resistance, and it's going to say blue team has the buff every couple seconds. And that's pretty much as far as this goes. Now, the lives remaining over here is not part of this at all. That was kind of just as I was playing around and whatnot. So, yep. And a couple things to keep in mind when you do go to do this. First of all, you're going to have to add players to whatever team they're on. So just run that command, but use &p or whatever, and set them to whatever team so that they're able to capture it. Now, I did it so you had to capture your own thing because we want a buff, so we want to activate our own. However, if you wanted to capture the other teams, you'd have to simply change everything around. So it'd be testing for a player red, or blue team, blue cap, stuff like that. It's just changing it all around. That's just how I did it. Now I'm going to be including a download. It's got some other junk on here, but it's not really that big of a deal. So you guys can get a download here and see exactly how everything goes and works. And yep, pretty much that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys liked this or you thought this was helpful to help you guys out if you're making a map or whatever, we're actually might be using this in a PvP type map eventually. So if you guys liked this tutorial, please thumbs up, and if you liked it, subscribe to join the royalty as well. Oh, one last thing I want to mention: we didn't do plates because trolls could be capturing points for their other team or their own team, and that would just be retarded. And also, we did the check for the red cap thing, just so that someone can't come in here and just keep on doing this. While they can't do it if it's already active. So another team member will already come and activate it. So it doesn't want all that spam, so we did that. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and like I said, do all that stuffs. It really helps out, and see you guys later. Bye.